Just that.
Do you want him back?
No, that's fine.
Come back soon.
If you insist.
You know you can buy more than one at a time.
I'm just working up the courage to ask you out.
After serving 5 years in prison for a tragic mistake, Kenna Rowan returns to the town where it all went wrong. Colleen Hoover's novel-turned-movie Reminders of Him explores themes that suggest not all stories require a villain. I had the opportunity to sit down with Colleen and movie director Vanessa Caswill to learn how they brought this book to the big screen. The theme that I got primarily from both the book and the movie is it's a story about love. 100%. It really is. It's a kind of about the messiness of love in the aftermath of a tragedy, but it's still about the love. So how difficult was that to translate that so successfully on the screen?
I mean, luckily I got to, help write the script. Lauren Levine and I
you were
co-wrote it. Yeah, and so, what I put into the book, I was able to, kind of hopefully carry onto the page. But then once Ness joined us, she just had such a wonderful reaction to the script and to the book. With the cast and her direction, I feel like we achieved it.
Yeah, I don't think that it replicated the book, but
Right.
it definitely respected the storyline so successfully. There was so many themes that you were able to very successfully portray on screen, which is not easy to do, especially the way that you wrote it from the point of view, first person point
Right.
of view. To try to translate that had to be challenging.
In the book, it's the chapters are written from Kenna's perspective and Ledger's. I actually thought that was quite helpful because it meant that you could see what it was like to be inside that character and then to see how they're perceived. But I love that you said it's a story about love because it's a love story. It's a romantic, sweeping story, but it's also just about all forms of love and platonic love, lost love, maternal love, romantic love. And, the main themes are forms of love. Grief is a form of love. Right. It's love with nowhere to go. And forgiveness is the highest form of love. So it's, I love that that's how you talk about it.
Right, and also there was no villain.
That's
there
what
was
I
no
love.
villain that
No.
emerged in this in the storyline, either in the book or in the movie.
I love to write books where life is the villain.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a very good point because life was the villain. It quite literally had a curve that really caused so much tragedy and so much hardship, and that's the idea of the messiness of tragedy, but still how successful love can emerge. I'm going to read a quote from the book. It says, "Regrets keep you stuck on pause. So does prison. When you get out of here, make sure you hit play so you don't forget to move forward." I think that's a really interesting notion because, as you were saying, the villain, if anything, was life in all of this. And the whole notion of moving forward through those curves is so essential in order to really fulfill life successfully. Yeah, that was a beautifully written passage. So,
thank you.
I want to talk about Vanessa, the book being so internal and focusing on Kenna's thoughts. How did you use visual language or cinematography to translate their internal struggle so successfully on screen?
I think that something I loved about the book was just how Colleen would capture really the feeling that a character has in their body or in space, and like where they're holding, where their breath is, where they're like constricting or what they're holding on to just to like steady themselves. Things like that, details that I find really like helpful in terms of blocking a scene.
The thing that, as we mentioned, we're going to kind of circle back to the reality or to the underlying theme of love, that being the basis of it. Recognizing that we shouldn't judge people based upon their worst moment, and understanding that there's a story behind some of those decisions that are being made. It's a redemption story for all of us. Can y'all comment any further on that?
Yeah, I feel like one of the things I loved about it when I read it was that it felt like a sort of fairy tale, a modern fairy tale or parable for our times, because especially online, but just we're in a time of such divisiveness and there's so much hatred, there's so much judgment. It's so easy to just say awful things about other people in the world we live in right now, and I don't think it's serving us at all. So there's something very pure and simple about this story, and showing that there is a way to see the other's perspective and there is a way to move forward, even though there's so much pain and it's so hard to forgive, and it's also so hard to forgive yourself for something terrible that you've done in the past. But I feel like it's got medicine in it. I do.
And I think it is. I think you touched on something rather revolutionary, that not all stories need a villain.
No.
They really don't. And that was you were able to do that so successfully. Thank you both.
Reminders of him is on screens now. You can also pick up the book wherever books are sold.